Although the NBA offseason has kind of been a little slow lately, James Harden is spicing it back up by having more drama come out about how he is saying that he no longer wants to play for the Philadelphia 76ers and has no plans of taking part in training camp. And that is all because the Sixers have ended trade talks earlier yesterday because I guess they just didn't find any trades that would work. And so they're kind of just forcing him to play next season for the 76ers. And, you know how James Harden is. If he doesn't get what he wants, he's not going to be very happy. And he's going to let that be known. And I'm kind of scared for the 76ers fans because I honestly don't know what to expect. The 76ers came off of a 54-28 record last season, big part because of James Harden. James Harden averaged about 21 points, over 10 assists, and pretty solid rebounding on pretty good shooting, about 39% from three. So he had a pretty good season when it came to being a point guard. But yeah, I guess he just doesn't want to play there anymore, and the part of the reason why is because Philadelphia never gave him a long-term contract. And the quote is from Woj saying that Harden is unhappy with the Sixers president Daryl Morey after a lack of long-term maximum level contract offers, sources said. And Sixers are risking Harden's arrival at training camp, bringing it with anything but a championship mindset. So James Harden, obviously, he seems like he just cares about the money. But I don't know why he was asking for a max contract. He had a great season with the Rockets, but his he just has been jumping around the Brooklyn Nets, and I wasn't happy with the Brooklyn Nets, and then goes with the 76ers. He hasn't really been staying loyal to one spot. And honestly, I don't really believe the Sixers can win a championship. Big part because of just how, I don't know, it seems for Joel Embiid in the playoffs. And even James Harden. James Harden had a couple games in the playoffs where he played good, but a lot of them was not very good. Just to show a couple of the games. For May 5th and May 14th, this was his last 5 games, and they were against Boston. So Game 3, he had 16 points. Game 4, he had 42 points, which was, an amazing game. May 9th, he had 17. May 11th, he had 13th. And then the last game, he went 3 for 11 with 9 points. So, not too great. He had, a bright spot, but, 21% from the field, 25% from the field, and 27% from the field. It's not going to really cut it. And I don't know if that's really max contract worthy. Again, I obviously know James Harden is a superstar caliber player. He's, one of the best guards in the league. But to ask for a max contract going into your 15th season, so I'm guessing it would have to, so if he's 30, he's going on 34. So if he was to get a max contract, it will be going on until he's 38. And I feel like that's more of a risk than it is an asset for the 76ers. So that's probably a big part of why they're not doing it. But yeah, I just wonder how it's going to go. Because if he said he's not going to report to training camp, I cannot imagine Joel Embiid being happy, or the whole team chemistry is definitely going to be off, especially if you don't have your main point guard, your all-star point guard. Although he wasn't an all-star last year, if you don't have him, it's going to mess up a lot of things. I do trust Tyrese Maxey. I like Tyrese Maxey as a potential point guard, starting point guard for them. But yeah, and on top of that, they also lost their head coach. But I believe they could find a better head coach. Another thing that I feel like isn't going noticed is that their trades. I haven't seen every single one of their trades, but from the trades I have seen, they lost a lot of depth. They got rid of Max Strus and Georges Niang. Georges Niang has been a 40 plus 3-point. No, not Max Strus. They lost Georges Niang to the Cavs, which is another contender in the Eastern Conference. And Georges Niang is a 40+% three-point shooter. So he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and he's been that way for the past 5 years. So it was just like a 1 year bluff. It's, you know what I'm saying, like it's who he is. So I'm kind of surprised that they kind of just let Georges Niang go, but I understand contracts, money, cool. But yeah, so I'm saying things just look kind of iffy for them right now. The 76ers, they add Patrick Beverley on a 1-year deal. They added Mo Bamba on a 1-year deal, and they re-signed Montrezl Harrell and Paul Reed. Montrezl Harrell, though, is expected to miss the whole season due to an injury. And Mo Bamba and Patrick Beverley, those are very solid role players. Patrick Beverley, I feel like, could be an issue for Nick Nurse to coach. Coming from a Raptors team, I feel like there was just not many like issues. I feel like when it came to players, and I feel like Patrick Beverley can kind of be a handful sometimes. And Mo Bamba, pretty solid defensively. Didn't play too great with the Lakers, but it is what it is. But yeah, this is just nothing that really jumps off the paper at me when it comes to being a championship team. So James Harden, pretty much sum it up, didn't get his max contract, didn't get traded because the Sixers didn't find a trade that they thought was good enough. And so they're forcing him to play next season and stopping trade talks. So it looks like James Harden might be requesting a trade. There's been no report of that. I can just imagine he does request one. On top of all that, he is now not going to be reporting to training camp because he doesn't want to be there, and I'm just worried that's going to mess up the whole team chemistry. And we all know what happens when James Harden isn't happy. He's going to be sitting on the bench or, trying to find ways to get out of Philly. And it seems like it might be another bad fallout with another Sixers player, just like how Ben Simmons was. So, yeah, I feel like Ben Simmons is a different kind of hate for Sixers fans just because of the playoffs, and he sold them a series and all that type of stuff. But this situation isn't good for Sixers and Sixers fans that they, want to be contenders again and try to win a championship. I feel like last year was kind of their last hope. But again, anything can happen in the NBA season, but just with how things are going, it isn't looking too good for them right now. And they might be able to figure it out, but we'll see. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. If you did, please remember to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.